Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Retro Cup here. The Retro Cup gonna be very interesting as we're gonna have no steel types, no fairy types and no dark types available. And we're gonna have 8 top teams that you can run. I already made a video about this last time when it was available, which was last season. So there are some more teams I think that I didn't showcase in this video as well, which you can check out. I'm gonna link it at the end card. But other than this, let's go right into the meta. Let's take a look at the meta real quick, and we're gonna see here immediately that we have some fighting weaknesses here with the Lickitung and the NiRiain, and also Frostless would lose against most of the fighters in like the 2-shield scenario just because counter damage still adds up so much. We have the Regirock, which is weak to fighting types. We have the Obama Snow, which is weak to fighting types. And also, if you think about, for example, Machamp, this thing would have Rock Slide, which also can hurt the Altaria and the Araquanid. So, like, those are all kind of weak to Machamp, and Machamp gonna be a really good core breaker for this meta. Of course, with not having any Dark-type Pokemon and also not any Fairy type and Steel type Pokemon, things are gonna be very nice for the Psychic types, because basically Dark and Steel are the only real weaknesses for Psychic types. So Psychic types gonna be like everywhere, but also Ghost types to counter them, and also stuff like Lickitung to counter them just because of the lick damage. So you're gonna see a lot of Hypno as well, which are a little bit lower. A lot of Cresselia, as you can see here. Those are all gonna be very common. Fighting types and Psychic types gonna be good. Ghost types gonna be good. We have some new Pokemon in the meta as well, like the Shadow Alolan Marowak, which you're also gonna have a team later on with this thing. And we have some other really cool new Pokemon coming in there as well. Also, like Araquanid wasn't available last time this cup was there, I think. So this is gonna be a new Pokemon, which is now ranked 10, which is gonna be amazing. So there's a lot of new additions as well, actually, in the meta, which is gonna be cool. So like Como and whatever wasn't really around back in the day. So like it's gonna be a little bit different from the last time, but also still a lot of good teams gonna be the same. And we can go right into the teams now. Team number 1 gonna be a team around the Machamp here, especially the Shadow Machamp is really pretty good here. You kind of want Machamp as a fighter, not really a different fighter, just because of the coverage with the rock typing, as you might encounter something like an Araquanid here, which you don't really want to face with your backline. As safe swaps, you can use here the Hypno or the Cresselia, and then we have in the back the Oranguru. Oranguru is kind of unique, which I kind of really like, and I think you cannot really replace it with anything here. Oranguru is able to beat the Ghost types as Psychic type, which is kind of nice, especially as your elite also is weak to Ghost types. This team might be a little bit tricky nowadays, just because we might encounter some more Shadow Alolan Marowaks now, since this thing got released, but otherwise I think this team still should work out pretty well. I used it last time around still, and it was like one of the best teams. I think I used it for the most part during the times when Retro Cup was available, so I'm still gonna showcase it here. And it's definitely a team that you can run. The next team gonna be around the Lickitung League here. Of course, Lickitung is supposed to counter out all those Psychic type Pokemon, and we have 2 fighting types in the back for like those Pokemon that Lickitung doesn't really want to see, which are mainly normal types, for example the Vigoroth. But yeah. This team looks pretty solid. Again, fighting types looking really good. Lickitung is also able to beat Psychic and Ghost types, like Ghost types especially for the backline is really cool. We can use Deoxys. Deoxys, I'm not the biggest fan of this in this meta because there are a lot of Ghost types around, but Primeape, for example, has access to Night Slash, which is pretty cool as a Safe Swap version as well. While then you can have something like the Lickitung in the back, the Machamp in the back to have a fighting type answer. And yeah, like this team should be pretty decent. And yeah, let's go into the next team. The third team here, we're gonna have the Cresselia in the lead. We have 2 normal types in the back here. You can use Lickitung as a safe swap, you can use Greenland as a safe swap, both of them are fine. You can also use Munchlax as a safe swap. By the way, if you don't have Lickitung, Munchlax is also pretty cool. Or even a Snorlax. Shadow Snorlax can be fun to use as a safe swap. Here we have the Lickitung mainly as a safe swap here, but we also have the Castform in the back. The normal Castform is pretty decent, because normal Castform has access to Hex and 2 types of Weather Balls, with the Weather Ball normal, which gonna have Stab, and the Weather Ball Rock, which gonna be able to hit stuff like the Frostless, which like stuff like the NiRiain, and you're gonna be able to do a lot of damage as well against the Trevenant. This thing is kind of a core breaker. You resist the lick damage from the Lickitung, even though the matchup is still kind of awkward. But this Pokemon in general is such an underrated Pokemon in this kind of meta. I really like to use this thing, and it's like such an amazing pick. The next team gonna be more like a BBML team. We have the Warren in the lead, we have the Deoxys defense as a safe swap. You can also use something else as a safe swap here if you don't have Deoxys defense or whatever. It must be something that resists fighting though, because it's the main theme of this team. You kind of have two fighting type answers here with the Trevenant as well in the back, while you kind of try to support the Warren, which has a lot of play in the current meta. Kind of core breaker for this team is the Lickitung, but you can still actually deal with it pretty well with the first two Pokemon on the team. It's not like really a hard loss or anything like this, so other than this team looks pretty solid and has a lot of play. Another core breaker actually would be the Frostless, but Frostless, I don't know how often we're gonna see this thing. This is just like a core basically between the Warren and the Trevenant, which you're gonna see a lot of times. What you see in the middle kinda depends there. You can also swap it around and have Trevenant in the lead, have a Lickitung safe swap, and have the Warren in the back. This is also something that you could use, but yeah, this is something that I'm definitely not gonna showcase because it's super lame. The next team is definitely a little bit better in my opinion in general, also a little bit more fun. We have the Nidoqueen in the lead, of course, one of the strongest Pokemon. You just need 5 quick moves to get to a 1 Poison Fang. And we have as a safe swap again the Lickitung or the Munchlax. Both of them are fine. You can also use Greedent, you can also use the Cast form if you have that thing there. They're all pretty decent as safe swaps as well. But like Lickitung is just like so dominant. The main goal of your safe swap here is trying to get out a potential fighting type Pokemon from the back line of your opponent, while having the Regirock is a closer, or like the Warren is a closer in the back. Both of them are really solid, and I think this team does make a lot of sense, and I'm scared to come up against them, because I think it's gonna be a little bit difficult to play against those teams, especially like Nidoqueen has so much potential. The thing with Nidoqueen is, you might actually want to consider running Stone Edge on this thing, because you have a lot of Ice-type Pokemon in the meta, which, for example, the Warren, you have a lot of Flying-type Pokemon in the meta, for example, the Altaria, and you don't have Steel-type Pokemon in the meta, which means you don't really need the Earth Power, so you can consider running Stone Edge. Maybe you want to do this, but I don't know, up to you. Definitely a cool team though. I wanted to make a team around a Reckonit, as this is like a new Pokemon now that's got introduced into the meta, and we are running again the Lickitung as safe swap. Again, I know it's annoying, I gave you like 4 different options that you can run instead of the Lickitung. The Lickitung is just the best version of it. And then we have the Frostless in the back here to cover especially the flying type weakness that you have in the lead here. The cool thing about the Reckonit is that you're gonna have a meta that's kinda heavy based on the psychic types, because you don't have steel types, which you wouldn't want to see anyway, so a Reckonit might have a really good play in this meta. I mean, it's ranked 10, not for nothing, so this Pokemon should definitely work out pretty well. And yeah, like definitely a good team. You can also most likely run something like a double ice team with Frostless as a safe swap. I think this should also work out pretty well here. I needed to build a team around the Alone Marowak, because the Shadow Alone Marowak especially gonna be amazing in this meta, as it beats nearly everything other stuff, like for example the, I don't know, Lickitung, all the normal types. Like that's why we have fighting types in the back here, and we have our normal types as a safe swap again. Lickitung, best safe swap in the meta, best safe swap here, especially if you want to get out fighting types, but also you can use all the other options that I said to you prior. Definitely Alone Marowak gonna be amazing here. You might also find like as a closer or something in the back. I think it's gonna have a lot of potential in this meta, especially if you can align it correctly. And yeah, like this thing looks insane. I'm definitely gonna make a video about the Lone Marowak as well, I think, but yeah, this for this team. For the final team here, we're gonna have a team around Bewear, and Bewear gonna be amazing in this meta, because maybe you don't expect it, but this thing kinda was the Trevenant Warren core, while also kinda walling the Lickitung. So this thing as lead, especially with a superpower payback, gonna be amazing to deal with a lot of Pokemon, and especially like if you consider maybe the weakness against like Psychic type Pokemon, you still have payback. With Nidoqueen in the back, I'm not that happy, to be honest. You can still use something else. For example, I don't know, like Kovac Regas or whatever. I just thought of countering the fighting type weakness here, but I think Kovac might be even better as well. You can try out different stuff with this Pokemon, but yeah, it's definitely a really cool Pokemon. You can definitely try this team as well. I think it should be fine unless you encounter like Sour Psychic types, but you still have Frostless for it. But Kovac might be a good alternative, but this team, like in general, this Pokemon, Bewear looks really good. Otherwise, that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you next video. Have a great rest of the day. Bye!